كلمة دونت بإحساسي، فيها انت عايش من زغر بانفاسي، في بحر شوقي يا علي انت لراسي، في بحر شوقي يا علي انت لراسي، وبعيون اشوفك من تمر براسي، بعيون اشوفك من تمر براسي، ولي 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 علي 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 نغمة ترددت في ذاتي، من عدها عرفت هالخلق نغماتي، ومن العطية ما وصل جمراتي، وانت دربي وتفتهم غاياتي، انت دربي وتفتهم غاياتي، ولي 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 علي 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 شهد لك طه، انت الولاية وهي لك تلقاها، خادم ونادي بخدمتك ارجاها، خادم ونادي بخدمتك ارجاها، فيك القصيدة يا علي محلاها، فيك القصيدة يا علي محلاها، ولي 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 علي 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 علي
لدى مؤسسة فلك الثقافية ومسألة الدعاء.
التوزيع والهندسة الصوتية ميثم الساعدي وحسين الطليباوي. أداء الرادود الحسيني مهدي العبودي. الكلمات للشاعر الحسيني عباس الموالي.
دنیا برا دیدن سلاله زهرا testing, testing. صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
على الدين إلا الهود، على الدين
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان. الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان. والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان. والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان؟ خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجان من مارج من نار. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان؟ رب المشرقين ورب المغربين. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان؟ مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان؟ يخرج منهما اللؤلؤ والمرجان. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان؟ وله الجوار المنشآت في البحر كالأعلام. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان؟ كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان؟ يسأله من في السماوات والأرض كل يوم هو في شأن. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان؟ سنفرغ لكم أيها الثقلان. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان؟ يا معشر الجن والإنس إن استطعتم أن تنفذوا من أقطار السماوات والأرض فانفذوا لا تنفذون إلا بسلطان. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان؟ يرسل عليكما شواظ من نار ونحاس فلا تنتصران. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان؟ فإذا انشقت السماء فكانت وردة كالدهان. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان؟ فيومئذ لا يسأل عن ذنبه إنس ولا جان. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان يعرف المجرمون بسيماهم فيؤخذ بالنواسي والأقدام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان هذه جهنم التي يكذب بها المجرمون يطوفون بينها وبين حميم آن فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان ولمن خاف مقام ربه جنتان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان ذواتا أفنان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهما عينان تجريان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهما من كل فاكهة زوجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان متكئين على فرش بطائنها من استبرق وجنى الجنتين دان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهن قاصرات الطرف لم يطمثهن إنس قبلهم ولا جان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان كأنهن الياقوت والمرجان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان ومن دونهما جنتان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان مدهامتان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهما عينان نضاختان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهما فاكهة ونخل ورمان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان فيهن خيرات حسان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان حور مقصورات في الخيام فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان لم يطمثهن إنس قبلهم ولا جان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان متكئين على رفرف خضر وأبقري حسان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان تبارك اسم ربك ذي الجلال والإكرام آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد عن فاطمة الزهراء عليها السلام بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله أنها قالت دخل علي أبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله في بعض الأيام فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة، فقلت عليك السلام. قال إني أجد في بدني ضعفا، فقلت له أعيذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف. فقال يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به، فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به، وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمه، فقلت عليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله. فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء. فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معه تحت الكساء، فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسين قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمه. فقلت وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال لي يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله. فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جدا، السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عمي رسول الله. فقلت نعم ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له عليك السلام يا أخي ويا وصي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء. ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتا يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بضعتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء. فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرفي الكساء وأومأ بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامتي،
لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم، وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. الله. فقال الله عز وجل: يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي، إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل: يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل: هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. فقال جبرائيل: يا ربي أتأذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض لأكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله: نعم قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله، الأعلي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام، ويقول لك: وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم، فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعليك السلام: يا أمين وحي الله، نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء، فقال لأبي: إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول: إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. فقال علي لأبي: يا رسول الله، أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله: والذي بعثني بالحق نبيه واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيه، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض، وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا، إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي عليه السلام: إذا والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال لأبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله: يا علي، والذي بعثني بالحق نبيه واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيه، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض، وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا، وفيهم مهموم إلا وفرج الله همه، ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غمه، ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي عليه السلام: إذا والله فزنا وسعدنا، وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة وربي الكعبة. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. Before we continue with the program, tonight's Milad, if I could request the brothers to please move forward so we can create more of a Milad atmosphere. So the brothers, if I could ask to move to the front two tables so we can fill it up from the front, and then those who are coming and joining us later will have an easily accessible seat at the back, inshallah. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. All praise is due to Allah, whose worth cannot be described by speakers, whose bounties cannot be counted by calculators, and whose claim to obedience attempt to do so. Whom the height of intellectual courage cannot appreciate, and the divings of understandings cannot reach. He for whose description no limit has been laid down, no time is ordained, no duration is fixed, and no eulogy exists. He brought forth creation through his omnipotence, dispersed winds through his compassion, and made firm the shaking earth with rocks. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Dear brothers, dear sisters, respected elders, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Thank you very much for attending this evening's program. I know for many of you, you traveled outside of the city, and inshallah, may your efforts be accepted. Once again, thank you for joining us, where we celebrate the Wiladat of Imam Hassan Askari and Sayeda Zeynab, salamuallah alayh. And inshallah, this evening, we will host a multitude of reciters ranging from Brother Abbas Rizvi to Brother Hamid, who will recite in Farsi, Brother Ali Hakeem, who will recite in Arabic, and also some English reciters as well. We are honored to be hosting Sheikh Abbas Fashuri, who is traveling from London, and inshallah we shall benefit from these events. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We are also very delighted to be providing a very entertaining night. We will have a raffle draw per se, where every person that has sort of entered today's evening gets a raffle ticket or a name on their paper, whatever you want to call it, and they are in a chance to win this amazing calligraphy piece, which I believe is by one of the sisters. We have two calligraphy pieces, so I don't want to confuse the two. Oh yeah, Sister Fatima, sorry. So this beautiful calligraphy piece by Sister Fatima, you're in a chance to win this, so stay tuned for that. And we are also hosting a 3-course meal for you all, keep you warm with some very nice authentic Asian food as well, inshallah. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Without further ado, I'd now like to welcome our first poet for the evening. I'd like to introduce Sister Zahra Muhabis. For those who do not know of her, alhamdulillah, she writes a lot of poetry in English in virtue of the Ahlul Bayt. And alhamdulillah, she has sort of progressed through the events that she's recited at. And we are very delighted to have her. So if you could please welcome her with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Please recite a second loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
A third salawat, please. Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. It's an honor to be joining you all here today, celebrating this lovely occasion. The first poem that I have written is for our beloved 11th Imam, Imam Hassan Askari. This may be the hardest harvest, for there is such a terrible drought. We long for the miracle rain that we cannot do without. We long for the cracks of the earth to be healed by your love. We long to find peace under the wings of doves. Revive our hearts like you once revived the land of Baghdad. Let the trees bear fruit once more. Pray for us like you did before, and before our souls become victims of war. Let us claim sanctuary at your door. And when time and fate finally marry, reserve us a place in your military. Like river water, see us as clean, despite where we may have been. And when we are frozen by winter, break the ice for his forgiveness to enter. And perhaps you'll find in this river so old a few rare pieces of gold. Man was created with longing and purpose. Our bodies long to be temples of worship, but then we became our own architect. And like that spiraled minaret, in a spiral our hearts were sent. And suddenly the day came and went, and we realized our time was not time well spent. So we ask you, Al-Askari, by your generosity, overlook our history and fix us from within. Show us the way to go, show us the way through you and not our ego. O divinely chosen vessel, save us from our inner battle. We cannot bear another dry season. Don't deny us despite your reasons. Take us to the valley of Narcissus and bless us with that spring bloom. For winter is bitter and we yearn for the scent that left too soon. Though it's been 1,000 years, we beg you, don't break your will. For we love the son of the daffodil and long to see him still. Salawat. This next poem is written about the awe-inspiring daughter of Imam Ali alayhi salam. They told me about beauty and all its power. They told me about beauty and how scents resemble flowers, how eyes of blue carry oceans of love, on a face brighter than the sun above, with skin white as snow, and lips red as the rose. They told me about beauty, and I couldn't help but oppose. I wasn't taught about the beauty of women, but I was shown true beauty by a woman. I was taught about her heart before her face. So I admired her life instead of her portrait, and if you gave me 1,000 colors and told me to pick a shade, I'd ask, what color resembles brave? For bravery beautifies her, more than any skin color, more than any feature. I only know her from within, so I'll only see beauty before I ever see her skin. I see beauty in the ink of her pen, mightier than any army of men. In every sentence and every line, I see beauty redefined. I see beauty in her strength, and in the way strength intertwined with patience together, toppling the most terrible of tyrants. That's why till this day I can't seem to find a definition of beauty that holds more strength than mine. I see beauty in her because beyond the raging flames, and behind the eyes burdened by pain, I hear her selfless soul cry out, Hussain, Hussain. I see beauty in her because no sweeter words have ever met my ears than the words by her reiterated year by year at a time when sacrifice lay by the feet of revolution. When asked, "What do you see?" she replied, "I see nothing but beauty. I see nothing but beauty. Now, when I think of her, all I see is beauty. I see the beauty of Zeynab bint Ali. Without jewels, she remains a queen. Without a picture, she remains beautiful, although unseen." Salawat. Thank you very much.
Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Thank you very much, Sister Zahra, for that wonderful recitation. May Allah accept your efforts. Sayeda Zeynab, extend your salam. Sayeda Zeynab, extend your salam to the Queen of Sham, Grand Master of speech, beyond the tyrant's reach. Sayeda Zeynab, extend your salam to the Queen of Sham, Grand Master of speech, beyond the tyrant's reach. The hero of her own story, knighted by God and blessed by his glory. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Without further ado, I'd now like to welcome Brother Hassan to recite some mankabat. If you could please welcome him with the loudest salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. I haven't prepared much for this. I was just informed by the organizers if I could recite some lines. So inshallah, it's my intention. Another salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. مسلح پہ میں نے علی کا قصیدہ جو ہی گنگنایا سویرے سویرے. مسلح پہ میں نے علی کا قصیدہ جو ہی گنگنایا سویرے سویرے. جو شہ کی مودت نے حر کو جھنجھوڑا تو اس نے بھی غفلت کے بستر کو چھوڑا. بستر کو چھوڑا تو خود آفتاب شہادت نے اس کا مقدر جگایا سویرے سویرے. ابھرتے ہی سورج نے حمد خدا کی زیارت کی, پھر روضہ مرتضیٰ کی, روضہ مرتضیٰ کی. پرندوں نے اپنی زباں میں قصیدہ علی کا سنایا سویرے سویرے. مسلح پہ میں نے علی کا قصیدہ جو ہی گنگنایا سویرے سویرے. ہے زہرا کی مرضی مشیت خدا کی, ہوا تھا نہ لب سے ابھی حکم جاری, ابھی حکم جاری. لباس جنا لے کے رضوان جنت نے در کھٹکھٹایا سویرے سویرے. میں نے علی کا قصیدہ گنگنایا سویرے سویرے اٹھی جھوم کر رحمتوں کی گھٹائیں چلی میرے گھر میں جنا کی ہوائیں جنا کی ہوائیں چراغ حدیث کسا اپنے گھر میں جو میں نے جلایا سویرے سویرے نماز مودت میں گزری میری شب جھکا فجر میں سر پائے سجدائے رب پائے سجدائے رب لگائی تھی لاگت اندھیرے اندھیرے منافع کمایا سویرے سویرے وہاں مدح مولا میں مصروف شب بھر مودت کی محفل سے لوٹا جو میں گھر لوٹا جو میں گھر سہیل ایک فرشتہ شفاعت کی میری سند لے کے آیا سویرے سویرے مصلی پہ میں نے علی کا قصیدہ یوں ہی گنگنایا سویرے سویرے میں سویا تھا شب میں علی کو بلا کر بحکم خدا کچھ فرشتوں نے آ کر مجھے خواب میں روضۂ مرتضیٰ کا نظارہ کرایا سویرے سویرے مصلی پہ میں نے علی کا قصیدہ جو ہی گنگنایا سویرے سویرے بر محمد وآل محمد
صلوات علی محمد وآل محمد. To lighten up the mood, I want everyone, Nare Takbir. Louder, louder. Nare Takbir. Nare Risalat. Nare Risalat. Kulle Iman. Nare Haidari. Haidari. Wa Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat. I do apologize, Brother Hassan. I actually put him on the spot like 15 minutes ago. I said, you have to recite. Alhamdulillah, he did an amazing job. So, for the long life and his barakah, please recite another loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Just going to recite a few verses of poetry in Urdu. So excuse any mistakes I make now. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ijazat hai Shah ji. Kya bataun maqam Zainab ka? Kya bataun maqam Zainab ka? Zainab Abu Turab ki zinat ka naam hai. زینب ابو تراب کی زینت کا نام ہے. زینب امانتوں کی امانت کا نام ہے. زینب ابو تراب کی زینت کا نام ہے. زینب امانتوں کی امانت کا نام ہے. زینب علی کے خون کی طہارت کا نام ہے. زینب حسینیت کی ضرورت کا نام ہے. زینب حسینیت کی ضرورت کا نام ہے، مانا وجود شام میں پوری ہے کربلا. سن کے، مانا وجود شام میں پوری ہے کربلا، زینب اگر نہ ہوتی تو ادھوری ہے کربلا. زندہ Without further ado, I'd now like to welcome Sayeda Abbas Rizvi for some recitation and Urdu. Please welcome him with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
پر محمد و آل محمد صلوات. I'm just going to recite a few qasidas in Urdu, hopefully for those of you that can understand. The first one I'm reciting, the chorus, it means in English, "Oh, the helper of the hopeless Imam Ali." So, بے قصوں کے مددگار مولا علی، جز تیرے کوئی اپنا سہارا نہیں. بے قصوں کے مددگار مولا علی، جز تیرے کوئی اپنا سہارا نہیں. تیرا در چھوڑ کر جائیں آخر کہاں، غیر کا در جبی کو گوارا نہیں. وہ تو کم ظرف ہے جو تجھے چھوڑ دے، ورنہ مولا علی تیری تعظیم کو جو پلٹ کر نہ آئے وہ سورج نہیں، جو نہ چوکٹ کو چومے وہ تارا نہیں. بے قصوں کے مددگار مولا علی، جز تیرے کوئی اپنا سہارا نہیں. کل ایمان تو، کل اسلام تو، دین کی رگ رگ میں ہے صرف تیرا لہو. جنگ خیبر ہو خندق کے بدر و احد، کون سی جنگ میں کفر ہارا نہیں. بے قصوں کے مددگار مولا علی، جز تیرے کوئی اپنا سہارا نہیں. پہلے تاریخ خیبر کی پڑھ لیجئے، پھر کوئی آخری فیصلہ دیجئے. یا یہ کہنا پیمبر بھی ہیں بدعتی، یا یہ کہنا علی کو پکارا نہیں. بے قصوں کے مددگار مولا علی، جز تیرے کوئی اپنا سہارا نہیں. جو علی کا نہیں وہ نبی کا نہیں، جو نبی کا نہیں وہ خدا کا نہیں. آئیے مسلمان اصحاب سے پوچھ لے، کیا یہ خم میں نبی نے پکارا نہیں؟ بے کسوں کے مددگار مولا علی، جز تیرے کوئی اپنا سہارا نہیں۔ پر محمد وآل محمد صلوات۔ علی کے چاہنے والے خوشی ایسے مناتے ہیں، علی کے چاہنے والے خوشی ایسے مناتے ہیں، لگاتے ہیں دری نعرے، لگاتے ہیں دری نعرے، یہ چہرے مسکراتے ہیں۔ علی کے چاہنے والے خوشی ایسے مناتے ہیں، ہماری بندگی مولا، ہماری زندگی مولا، نبی نے کہہ دیا مولا، جسے بس ہے وہی مولا، سکھایا ماں نے اپنی لوریوں میں یا علی مولا، غدیر خم کا قصہ، غدیر خم کا قصہ اپنے بچوں کو سناتے ہیں، علی کے چاہنے والے خوشی ایسے منا، علی کے چاہنے والے خوشی ایسے، کوئی بوڑھا بھی آ جائے تو وہ ہو کر جوان اٹھے، دلوں سے نعرہ حیدر زمیں تا آسماں اٹھے، میرے ہر شعر پر دل سے منافق کے دعا اٹھے، جو منکر ہیں علی کے، جو منکر ہیں علی کے، ان کو لفظوں سے جلاتے ہیں، علی کے چاہنے والے خوشی ایسے مناتے ہیں، علی کے کھلا کرتا ہے حج کے درمیاں خوشیوں کا دروازہ، طواف ایسا ہے ہوتا جھومتا ہے خانہ کعبہ، دلوں میں عظمت توحید لب پر یا علی مولا، خدا کے گھر علی پیدا، خدا کے گھر علی پیدا ہوئے سب کو بتاتے ہیں، علی کے چاند علی کے چاہنے والے خوشی ایسے، جو اپنے روح کو پہلے دن سے ہی حیدر سے موڑے ہیں، علی کی تیغ کو دیکھا تو کتنی تیز دوڑے ہیں، فرار ایسے ہوئے آگے کہ پیچھے ان کے گھوڑے ہیں، ہم ان کا ذکر کرتے ہیں کہ جو عادی بگوڑے ہیں، ہے عادت باغنے کی جن کو، ہے عادت باغنے کی جن کو، ہم ان کو بگاتے ہیں، علی کے چاہنے والے خوشی ایسے مناتے ہیں، لگاتے ہیں دری نعرے، لگاتے हैदरी नारे ये चेहरे मुस्कुराते हैं. बार मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि
Muhammad. MashaAllah, what a wonderful recitation. Thank you, Brother Abbas, for that beautiful recitation. And now, without further ado, I'd like to welcome our dear brother who's traveled all the way from Manchester, Brother Sayeda Ali Hakeem, who will recite in Arabic and inshallah lighten up the mood. So, if you could please welcome him with the loudest salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Read the Fatiha for Al-Baneen. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد يا أبا الحسن يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي أيها الزكي العسكري ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله صلوات Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I'd like to congratulate you all on the joyous occasion of Wiladat Imam Hassan Askari and Sayeda Zeynab alayhi salam. Of course, I am truly humbled and honored to be in your presence, and truly thank all the organizers. Various organizations have put all the effort to put this event together. May Allah reward you. And of course, this is regarding an imam who's often forgotten. Sayeda Zeynab obviously a bit more, but it's these imams that we tend to forget, that we have to keep reviving, because we're not restricted just to one imam. It's 12 imams. So may Allah reward the organizers and keep up, and may Allah bless them to keep up these majalis, these events, endlessly, inshallah. So they've asked me to do Arabic, which I normally do English. Happy to do Arabic, but I know most crowds are Pakistanis, because you are the guys who revive. So we've made the chorus quite easy, so if you guys can help out, inshallah, that would be really good. I know we've got some beautiful faces and beautiful voices here. So if you can help us out, we've made it really easy. So the chorus of this one is literally Ha, Sin, Noon, which is we're spelling out Imam Hassan's name. We'll break it down. Who remembers the Arabic classes? Ha, Sin, Noon, Ibhubba Majnoon, which means out of his love, I am crazy. Majnoon, you know that one. Hassan Mawla, Habibi Mawla. Simple. So if we can participate, inshallah. Brother Hamid doesn't approve of the chorus because he thinks it's too long based on his facial expressions. But these guys are students, university, so don't undermine them, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. You guys okay with clapping as well, or is it haram here? It's alright.
حاء سين نون بحبه مجنون، حاء سين نون بحبه مجنون. حسن مولا حسن مولا حبيبي مولاي، مولا حسن مولا حبيبي مولاي. حاء سين نون بحبه مجنون. لودا حاء سين بحبه مجنون. حسن مولا حسن مولا حبيبي مولاي، حسن مولا حسن مولا حبيبي مولاي. حاء سين حاء سين نون بحبه مجنون. لودا ما شاء الله بحبه مجنون. حسن مولا حسن مولا حبيبي مولاي، حسن مولا حسن مولا حبيبي مولاي. يا روح المختار يا الحسن نار فراقك نار، يا ما شاء الله لست يا الحسن لوده. يا روح المختار نار فراقك نار، والعقل محتار طال البعد طال. خذ قلبي وروحي كافي تخلي من حبك عطي. يا العشقك كتال يا العشقك كتال، يا الاسمك مكنون في قلبي مدفون. هذا الحسن هذا الحسن في قلبي مدفون. حاء سين نون بحبه مجنون. حاء نون حسن مولا حسن مولا حبيبي، حسن مولا حسن مولا حبيبي مولاي. حبي لك أكثر من قيس وعنتر، حبي لك أكثر من قيس وعنتر. من عالم الذار مجنون أنا بيك، مجنون أنا بيك. سيدة العشاق عشقي عليهم فاق، سيد العشاق عشقي عليهم فاق. مر قلبي المشتاق ويلك بك لبيك، ويقول لك لبيك. لا ما يوصلون عشقي ماخذ لون. هذا الحسن هذا الحسن في قلبي مبتون. حاء سين نون حاء سين نون بحبه مجنون. حسن مولا حسن مولا حبيبي مولاي. حاء سين نون حاء سين نون بحبه مجنون. حاء سين نون بحبه مجنون. حسن مولا حسن مولا حبيبي مولاي، حسن مولا. حبي لك أكثر يا الحسن من قيس وعنتر، حبي لك أكثر من قيس وعنتر. من عالم الذار مجنون أنا بيك. سيدة العشاق عشقي عليهم طاق. مر قلب المشتاق ويقول لك لبيك، ويقول لك لبيك. لا ما يوصلون عشقي ماخذ لون. هذا الحسن هذا الحسن في قلبي مبتون. حاء سين حاء نون بحبه مجنون. حاء حسن مولا حسن مولا حبيبي مولا. حسن حسن مولا. أهواك أنا أهواك عذبني فرقاك. أهواك أنا أهواك عذبني فرقاك. اسمك دوم وياي وبقلبي حليت يا نور عيوني بعشقك لاموني يا نور عيوني بعشقك لاموني سهران جفوني وباسمك ناجيت وباسمك ناجيت خلهم يسمعون خلي يلومون هذا الحسن في قلبي مدفون عاوشينون حاوشينون حبه مجنون ما شاء الله حسن مولا حاوشينون ما شاء الله. Recite as well, don't just clap. حسن مولا حبيبي مولاي حسن مولا حسن مولا حسن مولا نزف أجمل تهاني للنبي طه الليلة ضوت أرض وسماها نزف أجمل تهاني للنبي طه الليلة ضوت أرض وسماها نور الزينب يظل مجلاها نور الزينب يظل مجلاها والسابع شمع ضوت قناديله والسابع شمع ضوت قناديله يا زينب 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 ينزف أجمل تهاني للنبي طه الليلة ضوت أرض وسماها نزف أجمل تهاني للنبي طه الليلة ضوت أرض وسماها نور الزينب يظل مجلاها نور الزينب يظل مجلاها والسابع شمع ضوت قناديله والسابع شمع ضوت قناديله يا زينب يا زينب يا زينب يا زينب يا زينب لاودا يا زينب يا زينب يا زينب يا زينب نزف أجمل تهاني للنبي طه الليلة ضوت أرض وسماها نزف أجمل تهاني للنبي طه الليلة ضوت أرض وسماها نور الزينب يظل مجلاها نور الزينب يظل مجلاها والسابع شمع ضوت قناديله والسابع شمع ضوت قناديله يا زينب يا زينب يا زينب يا زينب يا زينب يا زينب لاودا يا زينب يا زينب يا زينب يا زينب يا زينب تهاني نقدمه العلي مولانا نور الزينبي أزهرت دنيانا تهاني نقدمه العلي مولانا نور الزينبي أزهرت دنيانا حور وإنس هالليلة فرحانة حور وإنس هالليلة فرحانة صلاة على النبي يتعلى ترتيله صلاة على النبي يتعلى ترتيله يا زينب 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 يا تهاني نقدمه العلي مولانا نور الزينبي أزهرت دنيانا تهاني نقدمه العلي مولانا نور الزينبي أزهرت دنيانا حور وإنس هالليلة فرحانة حور وإنس هاي الليلة فرحانة صلاة على النبي يتعلى ترتيله صلاة على النبي يتعلى ترتيله يا زينب يا زينب يا زينب يا زينب ما شاء الله يا زينب يا زينب يا زينب يا زينب وعلي علي مولا مولانا علي 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 مولا مولانا علي 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 مولا علي علي مولا لاودا علي علي مولا مولانا علي 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 مولا بالضجم انت عنده مولانا علي بالضجم انت عنده يحضر ابو زينب ويحضر ابو زينب يدحي بابو الحسن مولانا علي يدحيها ابو الحسن وعلي علي مولا مولانا علي 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 مولا مولانا علي 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 لا ما يخليها والباري يدحيها صلاته بخيبر صلاته بخيبر هو علي علي مولا مولانا علي 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 مولا مولانا علي 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 Number one and not four. Number one and not four. Of this fact I am sure. Of this fact I am sure. Oh successor Haydar. Oh successor Haydar. Oh Ali Ali Mawla Mawlana Ali 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 Mawla Mawla يزلزل العسكر يقدم المنحار يزلزل العسكر يقدم المنحار إلا ما يخلينا ولا ما يخلينا وعلي علي مولا مولا أنا علي 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 مولا Are you tired? علي علي مولا مولا أنا علي 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 مولا علي 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 أزهار الكون بوجوده أزهار الكون بوجوده بالعدل أرضه وحدوده للباري وفى بعهوده ما خان يوم بوعوده علي 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 وعلي علي 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 ربيع أصحاب الكسا ثابت عهده عالولا دوم يبذل بالعطاء برخاء وبالبلاء علي 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 صلاته معروفة بالشدة دوما موصوفة الأيتام تحضر مصفوفة ما شاء الله الأيتام تحضر مصفوفة خطر محشومة ضيوفة علي 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 نادي علي يا مظهر العجائب نادي علي يا مظهر العجائب تجده عونا لك في النوى نادي علي نادي علي يا مظهر العجائب نادي علي يا مظهر العجائب تجده عونا لك في النوائب كل هم وغم سينجلي كل هم وغم سينجلي بعظمتك raise your arms in the دعاء بعظمتك يا الله بعظمتك يا الله بنبوتك بنبوتك بولايتك علي 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 علي
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
For the long life and safety of the Sayyid, please recite aloud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I can see a few hungry faces looking at me. Hamid, not to worry. I'm just going to ask you to be patient for another 10 or so minutes because we now have our beloved Brother Zain Awan, who will recite some poetry. And if you could please welcome him with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
First and foremost, Assalamu alaikum to everyone. Felicitations and congratulations to everyone, especially to the Imam of our time as we celebrate these two very specific occasions upon the birth of his father, Imam Hassan Askari, and his mother, Zaynab al-Kubra. Please recite aloud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Don't worry, I'm not going to recite in melody. I think there's enough reciters here, mashallah. Just a few lines of poetry marking three individuals. But no poetry can commence with the gathering of the lovers of Ali without the praise of the Imam. But it's a difficult task writing a poem about Ali, because how do you begin to write the praise of him when God himself named him? When he gave in ruku, I would call him Sakhi, the generous, and when his hand was raised by the Nabi, I would call him my Mawla and the true Wasi. Abu Turab, the father of earth. In your land in Najaf you make gems from dirt, and you turned hopeless sinners into your lovers. You are the father of alchemy, and they do not want me to say that he is the splitter of heaven and hell. But what do you call the father of those who reside over heaven itself? Who is honored with the birth of this child? Was it the Kaaba, or the truth that its defender was born in it, he who became the Lord's wali? Baytullah, allow me to say, for that night became Baytul Ali. And they will say, do not say such, as though they can deny the cracks of the past in the present. But what is he if not Naba al-Azim, the great news? And what can I say when he was the teacher of Jibreel, the preacher of the pulpit of Saluni, Saluni, ask me, before you lose me, the hand of God, the voice that spoke when on ascension our beloved returned, only to find he was in deep sleep. In defense of the Prophet, the Aaron to Moses, my hope to my sorrows, the door that fortified the city of Muhammad, and his wisdom, the promised sign of God that was revealed, and his sons that defended like their father the legacy of light, and whose eyes become endowed with divine sight. And when he led in battle, he became Imam al-Muttaqeen. So I will call him my Imam and Amir al-Mu'mineen. And I will say his love is the distinction of Muslim and Munafiqeen. He is the right, my blood, and the guide. He is with God, with truth, and he has never left my side. And these are not the words of a poet, but the words of Muhammad that I recite. So when in my grave I will turn to no other, I will recite his name and give praise to my mother who birthed me with the name of my master and my Mawla, who fed me his love as she fed me her soul, who when in weakness her strength was his call. I will turn to Ali and ask him to intercede by the sake of the Kaaba, and by his light and by his grace I will call his name, so that from my grave the light of the Most High will touch the skies, where his name is a bell that rings at the doors of paradise. And why are they shocked when I sing his praise? Why are my beliefs compromised when his love I raised, when the Lord himself gave his own title as my Mawla's name? After Al-Murtada, the Lord's cherished one, was also his praise. So I end where I start, a circle that circumambulates, much like we who circle his birthplace. I am Aliul A'la, so Muhammad, today you name your defender from my prestigious names. O Ahmad, my beloved, tell them it is my sign that I sent, alone it is he. Tell them his name is from my own as he is from me. Tell them, O Muhammad, tell them he is Ali. You can do your nada. Hadari. The next poem is a small poem in honor of Imam Hassan Askari, which I wrote on the way, so it's the first time I'm reciting this. Father of the revolution, the military might of the Mahdi, he wraps the amama of the awaited and clouds his son with the wisps of his knowledge. The secrets of Al-Sadiq, the tribulations, the secrets of Al-Sadiq, the tribulations of Al-Zahra, the knowledge of Ali, the revelations of the Nabi, the tongue of Hassan, the stance of Hussain. Clutch the finger of the Askari, O Mahdi. He will teach you to walk as he was taught. And within these garrison lands of Samarra, where from tribulations this land has been tried, and the tyrants in palaces hide, a home that is a Gulistan, the rose garden of heaven. Al-Hassan, preparer, the soldier that first pledged to the cause that would come. In his lap, the seeds of Karbala are nurtured, flowering from his soul, and upon his shoulders sits the weight of humanity's fate. Al-Askari, the blessed, the father of revolution, of resistance and divine persistence, the core that sows in Samarra the springtime of lovers, so that we in love await, learning how to anticipate the coming. Your home became your resting place, to remind that revolutions are nurtured amongst us, between four walls and prison cells and house arrest. A soul that is divinely blessed cannot be contained, taught to our young ones to rise like the sun that never sets, but our eyes are not ready to embrace Al-Askari, the blessed, the father of revolution. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli. The final poem between me and your food, inshallah, but is a poem about Sayeda Zeynab. And when writing about this blessed lady of light, even her fada'il is entrenched in the sacrifice she withstood and in the tribulations that befell her. So my apologies that some of these, almost an ode to Sayeda Zeynab and a conversation between her and her brother, also will touch upon some of the musibahs, but a reminder that this is the woman that we are here to mark and honor. So with your, inshallah, with your attendance and your sight towards this poem, inshallah. So the first poem was the father of the revolution, about Imam Hassan Askari, and this poem is entitled The Mother of the Revolution, Zeynab. Zeynab, the daughter of the mother of her father. Zeynab, you are the coolness to the eyes of your brother. You are the gem encased in Ali's spiritual power, the beauty that defended God's throne and its honor, the standard bearer that did not let the standard bear alone. Zeynab, you are the sea of eloquence that in the face of ignorance flows. You are an army of God. How foolish they consider you but one, for when you walk, your steps spring forth revolutions that cannot be undone. You, O Zaynab, are the moon to the moon of Hashemites. Honor proudly bows at your feet, and our Hashemite youth honored you before their departure from home. Who is left now, O Zaynab, to prepare you for the streets? Now you are alone. So when they heard you in the court, the tyrant himself accepted defeat. You are the woman who crumbled the devil and his kingdom. You are the mother who raised valiant, courageous sons, the preparer of Akbar into battle, the lion that fought thousands with a single stance and from one glance could crumble them. Zaynab, the beauty of her father reduces you when I translate. You defended Ali's honor, al-aqila, al-fadila, al-alima, al-kamila. There is no titles that do you justice, so I stop at al-Masa'ib, the mother of griefs and misfortune, the mother of our right. Zaynab is a mother of Masa'ib. She consoles those with heartbreak and grief. Who consoles you? For when you and your brother you weep, pray, is it the same sky under the torn stars? Ali after Zahra would cry, like father, like daughter. Zaynab, your tears, they witness the moon and the skies. And I see the desert console Zaynab as the earth consoled Ali. And as fire ripped Ali's house, so her tent, they burnt ferociously. And when he fell from his horse, I saw the earth rise for the mountain of patience. The earth circumambulates her feet. The daughter of Abu Turab, the father of dust, now place dust in her palms and rise. Here is Zaynab, the valiant, broken, burnt, bloodied, battered. And when the dagger hacked 12, it had struck the sun into the sky. For if the soul of Zahra was there at the final moments of Hussain, then the daughter of Zahra withstood it and witnessed it alive. She in the flesh saw how from flesh they tore her brother apart, 12 hacks of a blunt dagger to a throat, thirsty from 3 days straight. Blood bathed the brother who her mother bore with such love and affection. How did you bear that time, O mountain of patience, when he would turn his back to see if the tents were still safe and none had violated their sanctity? Zaynab calls, my brother, I am with you, the earth and the sand and the Lord as my witness. I was there when Akbar fell. When Abbas's flag you brought and Qasim's body mutilated, I saw. When you wiped your beard with blood of your son, I wept tears into my palms, so that your face I would wash. And when none was left to help you mount, I, the mountain of patience, mounted you to your horse. I prayed with Layla to the Lord who returned Yusuf to Yaqub. I prayed for the sake of your lonely heart, Hussain, which was broken many times in one day. And I saw when you would run and fall and run and fall. And when you arrived at the hacked body of our Ali al-Akbar, I too beaded this rosary calling Ya Ali, Ya Ali. And when you lost sight at his brutal departure, do you think my eyes could survive knowing that affliction had fallen, my brother? And when your back it broke, when Abbas's arms severed and his bloodied eyes parted for you to see, you saw one broken heart, Hussain. But I saw my two brothers die at once instantly. And when you would weep for Abbas and your back you held and cried, I would hide my broken back like our mother would hide her wounds till she died. But I bared all your trials, and I witness your tribulations. And when you whispered into the night prayers, it was I who kept your candle alive to pray. I would whisper your supplications so that this world again would echo. I ran to your hand so one final time we would embrace, but the arrows were between us. and the fire and the ashes did you see? A reply comes from the sunken sky. A brother responds to his sister's plea. Zaynab, as you rose with the earth to witness my final moments when my lips were parched and my thirst unatoned, know as you rose with the earth, my head on a spear was raised, so in return I will see how my children scattered across the plains like a scattered bead of tasbih into the blistering nights and scream. Zaynab, I saw you then, when you saw me for the last time, and every hack they smacked, what killed me was your heart broke and your tearful eyes. You thought you were alone when you mounted upon your horse. I witnessed how you went from town to village and your painful course. I asked to the Lord, is it the same sky that my sister now cries under, that Ali after Zahra would cry? But remember, I saw you, O my sister, the revolution embodied in you and your fight. I saw you in the court of the tyrants and their plan you destroyed in one night. And my sister, my blood pours in your veins and my mission you revive. How foolish they considered you indeed to be just one. Wherever you walk, O Zaynab, Hussein's soul before you runs, so she rises. Zaynab, as though the stars have sunken to her eyes. For now no moon will dare to hang above her head. When the moon of the Hashemites has died, she would have succumbed to these wounds. But Zaynab not only persists, like the land that continues to rise and continues to rise and continues to rise, for with every breath she beads a rosary of resistance, her hands tied with the same names Hussein's intimate supplications would call upon, shackled hands that stretched clutching Abbas's flag, and with every step she recites, and they say, with the greatest of mountains comes the greatest of echoes. So what about the mountain of patience, Zaynab? So we say, O Zaynab, we will call your rosary of resistance, your love, your sacrifice, we will remember and reply. And you exclaimed, then we will call with you, a call as an echo of the proclamation, Hayhat min nadhillah, never to humiliation, never to humiliation. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. On that note, my sincerest apologies to reciting some musibah of it, but let it be a reminder to all of us that till today that call echoes within us, and we will always stand against oppression and never bow into humiliation. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Poetry by Brother Zain. Once again, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and blessing us with your presence. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I know I did say that we will have food next, but what I'd like to do is I'd like to, make you wait, because the food is really, really nice, and the more hungry you get, the more nicer it tastes. And that's the reason behind it. So I'd now like to welcome Brother Hamid Heshmati from Manchester. He will have some recitations in the Persian language. And inshallah, if you could please participate and welcome him with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Should I bring a chair?
Assalamu alaikum. When you replace food, no one's going to like your performance, especially after Brother Zain absolutely destroyed it. So can I have a loud salawat, please? I said a loud salawat, so let's try this. Ba'awaz buland salawat. بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم یا رحمان یا رحیم و یا رب العالمین. Try, but I don't know if you understand, but try. I'll read slowly. برعکس شد زمین به هوا نور می رود، کل می کشد فرشته وسط شور می دهد. از سفره ای که روح الامین سور می دهد، خرما بزن که مزه انگور می دهد. امشب شراب از می انگور عسکری است، این سفره بلیمه به دستور عسکری است. صلوات بفرست. شراب امشب من ز جام دیگری است، که ساقی دل من امام عسکری است. شراب امشب من ز جام دیگری است، که ساقی دل من امام عسکری است. باغ و بهارم گل زهرا، عشق و نگارم گل زهرا، دار و ندارم گل زهرا، ماه شب تارم گل زهرا، ماه شب تارم. Very easy. باغ و بهارم عشق و نگارم، دار و ندارم ماه شب تارم گل زهرا، ماه شب تارم گل زهرا. مولانا یا امام حسن، مولانا یا امام حسن، مولانا یا امام حسن. That's easier than brother's chorus. مولانا یا امام حسن، مولانا یا امام حسن، مولانا یا امام حسن. باغ و بهارم گل زهرا، دار و ندارم عشق و نگارم، ماه شب تارم گل زهرا. به رقص مستی من ملک نظاره کنم، فلک به یا حسنم پر از شراره کنم. مست و خرابم گل زهرا در تب و تابم، عطر و گلابم حساب و کتابم گل زهرا، حساب و کتابم. باغ و بهارم گل زهرا، عشق و نگارم، دار و ندارم ماه شب تارم گل زهرا. طواف کعبه بود همیشه دور سرت. Imam Hassan was the only Imam who didn't go to Mecca.
تواف کعبه بود همیشه دور سرت، فدای چشم تو و فدای گل پسرت. یوسف زهرا ابا صالح هستی مولا، ابا صالح یوسف زهرا هستی مولا، عیدی ما را ابا صالح عنایتی فرما، ابا صالح عنایتی فرما، ابا صالح. باغ و بهارم گل زهرا در تب و تابم، عطر و گلابم حساب و کتابم، گل زهرا حساب و کتابم. شگفت گل به رخ است سرشک دیده من، اسیر زلف تو شد دل رمیده من. ای همه هستم گل زهرا با دل مستم، دل به تو بستم ز غیر تو رستم، گل زهرا ز غیر تو رستم، گل زهرا. مولانا یا امام حسن، مولانا یا مولانا یا امام حسن، مولانا یا امام حسن، مولانا یا امام حسن، مولانا یا امام حسن. Don't get tired. مست و سرابم گل زهرا، مست و خرابم در تب و تابم، عطر و گلابم حساب و کتابم، گل زهرا حساب و کتابم، گل زهرا. مولانا یا امام حسن، مولانا یا یا امام حسن، مولانا 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 یا امام حسن. Not finished, not finished. No. We still have time. I know you're hungry. I want to hear those stomachs. So I'll carry on for another few minutes. This one's for Sayeda Zeynab, so make sure you put in your maximum effort. آینه در آینه نور مکرم زینب است، جلوه در جلوه تجلیات خاتم زینب است، خطبه در خطبه امیر المؤمنین دم زینب است، زهره در زهره ظهور اسم اعظم زینب است، آن که با عشق حسینی گشته همدم زینب است. با مصمت با قصیده با غزل با مثنوی، صائبی از اصفهان و بیدلی از دهلوی، جودی و یغما و نیر شهریار و مولوی، میبرد اما دلم را مصرعی از منزوی. این حسین تنها یک عاشق دارد آن هم زینب است، نام او پر کرده عالم را حجابش بیشتر، خطبه اش بنیان کن و فصل الخطابش بیشتر، غیرتش مبهوت ساز است انقلابش بیشتر، محملش دارد تماشا و رکابش بیشتر. گفت با عباس پشتیبان پرچم زینب است. شمع اگر این است دل پروانه باشد بهتر است، می اگر این است پرپیمانه باشد بهتر است، سر اگر خاک در میخانه باشد بهتر است، عقل در توصیف او دیوانه باشد بهتر است، در شهامت برتر از سارا و مریم زینب است. One more. عشق وقتی میتبد عاشق پرستو میشود، دست عاشق زود از حال دلش رو میشود. هر که بار خورشید شد آینه او می شود، دختر شاه نجف هم شاه بانو می شود، یک تنم ما حامی ناموس عالم زینب است. I'll read the next one as well because it's about Imam Hussain and Zainab. Sorry, I can't contain myself. از همان اول خدا میخواست او را شد حسین، اصلا او با اولین پلک تماشا شد حسین، فاطمه شد مرتضی شد پیش از آنها شد حسین، گرچه نامش بود زینب بعدش اما شد حسین، او حسین است و حسینش هم مسلم زینب است. دست دست میرن رهروان زینب، عالمو میگیرن عاشقان زینب، دست دست میرن رهروان زینب، عاشقو میگیرن عاشقان زینب، ما فدای راه کاروان زینب، ما همه سپاه پادگان زینب، دلا تو آسمون پای تو هم قسمه، دلا تو آسمون پای تو هم قسمه، شیعه تا پای جون مدافع حرمه، شیعه تا پای جون مدافع حرمه، بر روح بدم لبیک یا حسین، بر روح بدم لبیک یا حسین، بر روح. Your clapping is a bit too fast.
Ali Mola, Ali Mola, be Mola,
Ali Mola, Ali Mola, Ali Mola,
be Mola, Ali Mola.
He's a bit shy.
Ali Mola, be Mola, Ali Mola, be Mola, Ali Mola, be Mola, Ali Mola. Be Mola Ali Mola, 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 Ali Mola, Ali Mola, Ali Mola, Ali Mola, Ali Mola.
علی مولا علی مولا،
غمبر که خود لیاقت غمبر شدن نداشت، علی 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 علی، غمبر که خود لیاقت غمبر شدن نداشت،
علی 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 علی
افتاده بین جذبه غم برکشانیت علی 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 افتاده بین جذبه غم برکشانیت علی 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 لعنت به دشمن علی لعنت به دشمن علی 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 از صحنه گوهر شاد تا پنجره فولاد از صحنه گوهر شاد تا پنجره فولاد دل میزنه فریاد با آل علی هر که در افتاد ور افتاد با آل علی هر که در افتاد ور افتاد علی 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 لعنت به دشمن علی 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 صلوا علی محمد و آل محمد I'm going to recite a bit of poetry as well. No, I'm comfortable here, thank you.
I'll be the
The
face.
chorus will be very, very simple, so if everybody can join, that would be a blessing. Ali, Ali, Ya Mawla, Ali, Ali, Ya Mawla, Ali, Ali, Ya Mawla, 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 Ali, Ali, Ya Mawla, Ali, Ali, Ya Mawla, Ali, Ali, Ya Mawla, Ali. من چه کرده ای ساقی دیوانه و خرابم من پیمان ام پر از نور و مست ابو ترابم من علی یا مولا علی یا مولا علی یا مولا علی یا مولا علی 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 یا مولا علی یا مولا علی یا مولا من خسته مانده در راه آماج تیر تکفیرم ای ربنا و تکبیرم در دست توست زنجیرم بر تفسیر قل هو الله معنای لم یلد هستی مولای ما سوی الله چون ذات حق احد هستی علی یا مولا علی یا مولا علی یا مولا علی یا مولا علی علی یا مولا علی علی یا مولا علی علی یا مولا سرمستم و سبک بارم تا با تو هستم ای یارم تو در جوار حق و من در سینه ام تو را دارم عشق دل مرا برده تا بی نهایت بالا ای دست من به دامانت یا مرتضی علی مولا علی یا مولا علی یا مولا علی یا مولا علی یا مولا علی علی یا مولا علی علي يا مولا علي علي يا مولا علي 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 يا مولا علي
علي يا مولا علي علي يا مولا علي عمري اسکدم به دم علی میگویم در حال نشاط و غم علی میگویم یک عمر علی گفتم و انشاءالله تا آخر عمر هم علی میگویم. صلوات الفرست.
Thank you very much for that beautiful recitation. Now we will have some food. So how it works is we've got a buffet system set for both males on that side and females on that side. So you guys can help yourselves. I do request that you reuse your cutlery. We are trying to be eco-friendly. So inshallah, if you could just reuse your cutlery as well. Secondly, after food, we will have a lecture by Sayed Abbas Faroshi. Unfortunately, he's stuck in traffic at the moment, so inshallah he'll make it on time. You guys enjoy your food until then, and please do stay tuned after food. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أهل الأرض وأهل السماء مدعوة المسيح العقد القران اللي جمع أشرف بشر سوية زوج رسول الله علي للطاهرة الزكية رفعوا الهلاهل يا أهل السماء أعظم عريسة علي وفاطمة يلا ويلا يا أهل السماء أعظم عريسين علي وفاطمة يا سامع الصوت صل على النبي صل عليه تزويد فاطمة علي يا الله ويا الله صلوا على النبي هالليلة تزويد فاطمة علي بخر يا جبريل الوصي ورد للتلاوة عنده وبقول أعوذ وحصنا عن الذي حسده هنيا إلى ربك كرمه ورافع مقام عنده خلاه بعل الفاطمة وطول العمر تسنده يا حيدر اليوم ربك فضله أهدى لك الخير من عرشه إليك يا الله ويا الله ربك فضلك أهدى لك الخير من عرشه إليك يا سامع الصوت صل على النبي هالليلة تزويد فاطمة علي يا الله ويا الله صلوا على النبي هالليلة تزويد فاطمة علي يا حب يا حور زفوا بفرح الليلة أبيك وطشوا من الجنة وري خلي تبارك بيك. هاي الجليلة الطاهرة ما حد قدر يدنيك، لا زيد لا عمرو فقط حيدر يلوق عليها. ربك يا زهرة من عرشه قمر يصبح عليك علي خير البشر. يلا ويلا من عرشه قمر يصبح عليك علي علي خير البشر. يا سامع الصوت يا سامع صل على النبي صل الليله تزوي الليله تزوي صلوا على النبي الليله تزوي فاطم بن علي. حيدر علي وي فاطمة فرش البساط الأحمر يمشون ونشوف النبي وياهم دليل استبشر. يعلم بعد مد الفرح أكثر يزيد وأكثر من هالزواج لهم يجي زينب شبير وشبار. من هالكريمين لابد الثمر الله هداهم قمر يتبع قمر. يلا يلا لابد الثمر الله هداهم قمر يتبع قمر. يا سامع الصوت صل على النبي هالليلة تزوي فاطم بن علي. يا الله ويا الله صلوا على النبي هالليلة تزوي فاطم بن علي.
علي 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 يا علي.
إن حقوق الطبع والتوزيع لدى مؤسسة فلك الثقافية ومسألة مطورة.
علي 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 يا أغلى منه منهج وعنواني. كل ما أضيع حبك أنا القاني بشوفك يا علو بإحساني بشوفك يا علو بإحساني. قد ما أذكرك من نغار لساني قد ما أذكرك من نغار لساني. ولي 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 علي 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 أغلى كلمة دونت بإحساسي فيها أنت عايش من زغر بنفاسي. في بحر شوقي يا علي أنت لراسي في بحر شوقي يا علي أنت لراسي. وبعيون أشوفك من تمر براسي بعيون أشوفك من تمر براسي. ولي 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 علي 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 يا علي أحلى نغمة ترددت في ذاتي من عدها عرفت هالخلق نغماتي. ومن العطية ما وصل جمراتي وانت دربي وتفتهم غاياتي وانت دربي وتفتهم غاياتي. ولي 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 علي 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 عدلك طه، انت الولاية وهي لك خنطاها، خادم ونادي بخدمتك أرجاها، خادم ونادي بخدمتك أرجاها، فيك القصيدة يا علي محلاها، فيك القصيدة يا علي محلاها، ولي 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 علي 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 يا علي 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 علي
الطبع والتوزيع لدى مؤسسة فلك الثقافية ومسألة الدعاء.
التوزيع والهندسة الصوتية ميثم الساعدي وحسين الطليباوي. أداء الرادود الحسيني مهدي العبودي. الكلمات للشاعر الحسيني عباس الموالي.
شد مولای مسیحا عباس عشیره طاها به شب دل اهل عالم میتاب مهر سامرا میخونن آسمونا السلام علیک یا ولی الله السلام علیک یا حبیبی بقیت الله السلام علیک یا ولی الله السلام علیک یا حبیبی بقیت الله یا حجت الله. شد وجه الله هویدا ماه روشن هدایت دلها اونچه دل و جان نرگس شکر حق گشت شکوفا شد وجه الله هویدا ماه روشن هدایت دلها اونچه دل و جان نرگس شکر حق گشت شکوفا السلام علیک یا ولی الله السلام علیک یا حبیبی بقیت الله السلام علیک یا ولی الله السلام علیک یا حبیبی بقیت الله یا حجت الله.
إلا الحب هل الدين إلا البغض هل الدين إلا الحب هل الدين إلا البغض حب علی و آل علی سایه به سایه همیشه میرم به دنبال علی سایه به سایه همیشه میرم به دنبال علی نور علی توی وجود شیعه موج میزنه راه علی راه تموم خونواده منه حب علی نشونه ی حلال زاده بودنه با حب علی فقط ایمان میخوره من والا علی نجا من آدا علی حلق من والا علی نجا من آدا علی حلق من والا علی نجا من آدا علی حلق مولانا علی علی مولانا علی مولانا علی مولانا علی هل الدين إلا الحب هل الدين إلا البغض هل الدين هل الدين إلا البغض بغض به دشمن علی تا آخرین نفس میگم که قبله من علی تا آخرین نفس میگم که قبله من علی تموم افتخارمه که پیرو قدیرم دین علا دین علی برا علی میمیرم فقط علی فقط علی فقط علی امیرم فقط علی فقط علی فقط علی امیرم مولا رازق جهان کل عالم فدر من والا علی نجا من آدا علی حلق من والا علی نجا من آدا علی حلق من والا علی نجا من آدا علی مولانا علی علی مولانا علی مولانا علی مولانا علی
أمر الله على الأملاك طش الورد ويزينه هذا اليوم داح الباب يتلال بنور علينا أمر الله على الأملاك طش الورد ويزينه هذا اليوم داح الباب يتلال بنور علينا يتلال بنور علينا علي مولا مولا علي مولا علي مولا مولا علي مولا يا من لدى البيت انولد معجزة إلى الأبد أسماء وأسماء أسماء وأسماء مذ جاء للدنيا سجد للخالق الفرد الصمد شانيه آما شانيه آما انشق موسى بالعصا فانفلقت تلك البحارة البيت الحرام لمقدمك يا سيدي شد الجدار هو الأعلى مولا علي مولا مولا علي مولا مولا رحمانا يا قرآنا وشق البيت جدرانا علي مولا مولا علي مولا مولا علي مولا مولا علي مولا مولا علي مولا علي مولا مولا علي مولا الشمس لما غربت أو للمغيب اقتربت والليل غمّا والليل غمّا عادت كما قد ذهبت إلى السماء والتهبت والنور عمّا والنور عمّا ذاك ابن
لله تنمى تظهر البيت الهشم إذ عنه ألقيت الصنم بالأرض يرمى يا فارس الهيجا علي أنت العلي ليث المنايا في الغار درع محمد وسيفه عند البلايا اللهم أفنى مولى علي مولى مولى علي 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 مولى علي مولى 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 يا علي يا علي يا علي
گل باغ یاسی و بارس عطر مادری ای متجلی از رخت جلوه حسن داوری غیر نبی به انبیا داد خدات برتری هم به زمین امامت و هم به سمات سروری خلقت و تینت از همه فاطمی است و حیدری علم و معرفت یگانه گوهرش تویی سپه نور اگر دهد مه منولش تویی ملک اگر ملک شده امام و رهبرش تویی سلام ما به سامره که سایه گسترش تویی گل باغ یاسی و پارس عطر مادری مظهر تکرار حسن مولا امام عسکری گل باغ یاسی و پارس عطر مادری مظهر تکرار حسن مولا امام عسکری چشمه علوم حق زدهیم ولایتی تو حسن کردگار را جمال بی نهایتی تو برتر از حدیثی و تو فرق هر روایتی تو مظهر حقیقتی تو مشعل هدایتی در آسمان معرفت شمس تویی قمر تویی تمام نخل تویی سمر تویی بهار نور را همه صدف تویی گوهر تویی شب سیاه هجران صبح تویی سحر تویی گل باغ یاسی و پارس عطر مادری مظهر تکرار حسن مولا امام عسکری گل باغ یاسی و پارس عطر مادری مظهر تکرار حسن مولا امام عسکری
قلبك لو صلى كان غصن الجنة روحك تتدلى عالهادي وآله قلبك لو صلى كان غصن الجنة روحك تتدلى بين الموالي وما بين ذكر الصلاة على العترة نفس العلاقة الما بين قلب العطر والسغرة صلى وحدة بعشرة نيتك تظل صحرة بصيف ويظل ذكرهم مطرة والذاكرين أهل البيت أهل النوايا الخضراء بسماء ذكرى صلي على هم فاطمة تظل جبهتك غيمة بسم الماي العذب وقت الظما ذكر النبي وآله أم فاطمة غيمة بسمة وقت الظما لولاهم أبواب اللطوف جات انسد وكان الله ما يعبد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد ونتصلي عليهم سادات الملة كان غصن الجنة ذكر الصلاة على الآل ترنيمة المشاعر فنجانك اللي يصحيك من غفلة الضماير تبقى وحدك حاير صلى عليهم باروك من ريحة زايد بجبينه لمعت إيمان جلمعت المناير بس هو يفرح باكر يضوي مثل نية نجم لأهل العرش يوصل رحم يغضى رغم جيش الحلم ذكر النبي وآله نية نجم لأهل العرش يوصل رحم يغضى رغم جيش الحلم وياهم قلبك يفوز ويسعد وهمومه تتبدل اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد حب طه وآله وصف الكل علة كان غصن الجنة روحك تتدلى عالهادي وآله قلبك لو صلى كان غصن الجنة بذكر البيت لحظاته بس مامورة يعيش الصبح حتى بليل شمس الله تحسد نوره واللي على طه المختار صلى الصلاة مبتورة مثل اليأمن بايات يكثر بباقي السورة ظلمت ما معذور صلى وبتر أهل السمو لأم الحسن يسجد سهو مثل الفارض ويا الوضوء ذكر النبي وآله أهل السمو لأم الحسن يسجد سهو مثل الفارض ويا الوضوء النبي وآله لينساه الله يخاصمه ويتوعد ويا ما تتنكر اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد ناكرهم ينذر الحبهم يتعلى كان غصن الجنة روحك تتدلى عالهادي وآله قلبك لو صلى كان غصن الجنة روحك تتدلى موالي وما بين ذكر الصلاة على العترة نفس العلاقة الما بين قلب العطر والسغرة صلى وحدة بعشرة نيتك تظل صحرة بصيف ويظل ذكرهم مطرة والذاكرين أهل البيت أهل النوايا الخضراء بسماء ذكرى صلي على
أنت حبيبي الأول وكنت قبل الذر لي أنت أميرا، فيك الهموم تنجلي لو يرمق الأعمى علي عاد بصيرا. في النار لو كنت وناديت عليا وإماما، نادى ألا كوني له يا نار بردا وسلاما. من الأولى مولى، من الأولى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى مولى، يا أولا منذ الأزل ولا سبيل للجدل ولا لماذا، والتاج في خم النزل بايعك الهادي وهل غيرك هذا. كيف تكون رابعا وأنت قرآن الصدارة، من عالم الذر تربعت على عرش الإمارة. لك الأحلى مولى، لك الأحلى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى. نص أتى فيها الأتى وفي حديث لا فتى إلا علي، وفي الكتاب فلترى بعد النبي يا ترى من الولي. ومن تذكرك عن غيرك يا نعم الخليفة، أنت الولي الذي قد بايعوه في السقيفة. ولا يتلى مولى، علي مولى مولى، ولا يتلى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى. كل عالم روى عن النبي ما حوى يوم الغدير، من قال بعدي خلفي سله وما قد قال في ذاك الهجير. وفي الصحاحات جميعها أتى نص جلي، من كنت مولاه فهذا اليوم مولاه علي. هو الأجلى مولى، مولى مولى، هو الأجلى مولى، مولى مولى، علي 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 مولى. فلتشهدوا يا قوم قد آمنت بالله الأحد وبالرسول، ومن على العرش استوى آمنت لم يختر سوى زوج البتول. أشهد أن ابن أبي طالب مولاي وذخري، وهو إمامي وشفيعي ومغيثي يوم حشري. من الأعلى مولى، مولى مولى، من الأعلى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى مولى، علي مولى.
أبو الحسن علينا أمير المؤمنين، يا ابن أبي طالب يا خير الواصيين. أبو الحسن علينا أمير المؤمنين، يا ابن أبي طالب يا خير الواصيين.
رب اصطفاك للزهرة درع البطول من مهرة نور الرسال من طهرة ومنك يا حيدر علينا أبو الحسن علينا أمير المؤمنين يا ابن أبي طالب يا خير الوصي.
Can you
Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. If I could just get your attention for 2 minutes. Whilst you guys eat, we do have a sort of a prize for a name we pick out of a box. Don't worry, all your names have been written down upon entry, and we're going to pick it out. But before I do that, just to talk about the prize. So the first thing we have is a book by Sheikh Jawad Shumali, a recent book he wrote. I believe it's called The 40 Hadith. So that's one of the books that we have as a raffle. The second prize, we're very fortunate and grateful to Sister Fatima, who donated that calligraphy piece at the front on that sort of podium. So, you know, if we could all recite aloud salawat for Sister Fatima, salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Hamid, do you want to do the raffle? I'll give you the.
I'll hold the mic until he does the raffle. Is that what you wanted to? Okay, yeah, thank you. Just a face, you know. Thank you, welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So it's not called 40 Hadiths, it's called The Revival of the Heart. Book written by Sheikh Jawad Shumali. Okay, everyone's name is in there. Are we sure? Including guests?
Close your eyes.
No, I'm just giving a good mix. Because that guy in the bottom, obviously he hasn't got a chance, so I put him in the top. Maybe it's a girl, but okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Just one or two?
Just one for now, and then we'll do a second one.
This one, I'm putting back. Yeah. Okay, this one is. Wait a minute.
How'd you say that? Oh, I know this guy.
Ali Jawad Parpia.
My G. There you go.
My G. 50-50. Okay, this is for the book Revival of the Heart. Please come here. No, please, it's okay. Wipe it on him. He's got nice clothes. Okay, round of applause for the brother, please. Oh, sorry. Allahumma. Muhammad wa ala. MashaAllah, beautiful. Congratulations for coming here. I'll give the book to the brother, inshallah, because his hands are dirty. Okay, thank you very much. Round of applause, please. Shole. Beautiful calligraphy done by Sister Fatima. Is she here?
Yeah, she's.
Round of applause, please, for Sister Fatima. Thank you. No?
I think her Instagram is like Fatima Sugra, so do you
Okay, let's not do advertising, please. Oh. Fatima Sugra _ Sugra at ABSoc. Okay. All right, so. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Oh, take that one out. Sorry, your name was at the top. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inshallah, a sister this time. I don't know. This one?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Oh, booyakasha. Booyakasha to myself.
Round of applause from the winner, Heshmati. This is not cheating, by the way. Allah Quran kasma, I'm not cheating. Allah do I. Bro, it was in here. No, honestly. Hands out. There's not in there. This is not even my handwriting. I'd like to donate this to someone else. I'll pick another one. Please, round of applause for me. Thank you. Beautiful, absolutely. I always do this. When I pick names, I'm like, yo. Okay, this one. Zain. Oh, this is a Sayyid, I think. Oh.
Sayyid or Sayyida? Oh.
Safe Sayyid. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. That table, I don't know, something. Bro, if I were you, I would give the gift back to me, but yeah. Okay. Beautiful calligraphy. What does it say? Can you read it? Yeah, if you can take it, if you can read it. You can't just take it. Thank you, Sister Fatima.
I'll try later.
Try later? Do you want to have a go?
No, thank you.
It's not that, but it's nice handwriting.
It's Ayatul Kursi, isn't it?
No. Suratul Bayyinah.
Yeah, you got
This is Ya Ali Madad. Okay. Round of applause for brother Saif. Thank you very much. This wall. I'm taking this home, by the way.
Thank you very much, Brother Hamid. If we could give you 10 more minutes to sort of pack up and sort of continue with your food, then we'll invite our respected guest for tonight's program. Sorry? Cake now? Okay. Where's the cake at? Yo, boss, bring the cake. Shaji, Zain, cut the cake with us. Cake cutting. I know everyone. Sayyid, please, we'd like you to cut the cake before we have your little speak. Yeah? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Should we get it up on that table?
When do I apologize for being late?
You don't apologize. If I could get the brothers to please come forward for the cake cutting ceremony. Brother Ali Hussaini, Brother Raza Nakwi, Brother Sayyid from Nottingham, Brother Ali Abbas, Neymar, Brother AK, Brother AJ, Brother Zain. Who? Raza? Huh? Raza Nakwi, please. By the way, there's another cake for the sisters, so we like to be equal, inshallah. Do recite something.
خواهش میکنم ضبط نکنید برادر. Please put the mobiles down.
We're now going to resume with the program, and whilst we sort of give you guys time to sort of finish up, we're going to play a video by the 10th Day. I'd like to thank the 10th Day. They contributed in helping sponsor this program, and inshallah they have a stall set up at the back where they are selling their merchandise ranging from hoodies, rings and water bottles. If you could please pay a visit to the stall as well. So we'd like to start with the video from the 10th Day, and then inshallah we'll continue with a lecture from Sayyid. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Guys, if I could ask you to sit at the back, the brothers, please, if I could ask you to take a seat. If I could have your utmost attention, we'd like to resume the program. Inshallah, as quick as we get through the program, the quicker you guys can go home. So if I could please have your utmost attention with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Described the importance of Imam Hussain by proclaiming that the martyrdom of Hussain will ignite such a fire in the hearts of believers which will never be extinguished. Although hindered by the course of time, and as decree has prevented us from assisting the Imam on the day of Ashura, therefore the 10th day now seeks to answer the call by all means. We initiated our endeavors in 2012 with the help of a group of young, energetic, and dedicated individuals with innovative ideas. We drew public attention towards the message and sacrifice of Imam Hussain through transit system of Manchester by placing ads on buses, bus stops, street flags, and billboards. This was a unique idea which soon gripped the attention of the entire city. Not only this, but the news traveled in every corner of the world, breaking all boundaries through social media. We then introduced the 10th Day branded merchandise to fund our activities, which were posted to far-flung and remote cities in Southeast and Central Asia, Eastern and Western Europe, Africa, North and South America, Middle East, and Australia. Volunteers carried out activities to spread the message of Imam Hussain under the banner of the 10th Day in Pakistan, India, Canada, Americas, Middle East, Mexico, Australia, and including many cities of the United Kingdom. The 10th Day efforts were recognized by the shrines of Imam Hussain and Hazrat Abbas in Karbala, Iraq, as well as the shrine of Imam Riza in Mashhad, Iran. We signed a memorandum of understanding with the management of each shrine and reciprocated support. The 10th Day Mawqif is now a must during Arba'een each year, and we paraded the replica of Imam Hussein's shrine in Manchester during our Arba'een Peace Walk. We have also designed and prepared a travel app on a special request of Ataba Hussaini. In the loving memory of the Holy Ahlul Bayt, the 10th Day didn't ignore the humanitarian aspect of the message and supported local food banks in an unprecedented manner. Our unmatched amounts of food donations were too big for the food bank, and we shared with centers across the city. This was covered by local and national print and brilliant websites where we receive comments and inquiries from across the globe. The 10th day aimed to spread awareness about the incredible sacrifice made by Imam Hussain. We aim to guide humankind in the understanding of the message of Imam Hussain's calling. We have done this by adopting the method of Lady Zeynab, who went into the streets of Manchester. We played videos on the story of Karbala using a van in the heart of city center on the day of Ashura. For the last 5 years, we have arranged Arba'in Manchester Peace Walk, where we distributed the message of Imam with flowers. We attracted the attention of public through a horse carriage or by carrying a coffin. Students have written articles on the events which are now preserved in the library of Manchester University. More recently, we organized morning ceremonies during the first 10 nights of Muharram with renowned speaker Sayyid Mahdi al-Madarisi. This was the most successful event in the history of Muharram in Manchester, which was attended by over 1,000 mourners of Imam Hussain. Not only this, but we have organized some of the most successful ticketed events for Shias. We demonstrated that not only do we know how to mourn the difficulties of Ahlul Bayt, but we also know how to celebrate the success of Karbala. For 3 consecutive years, we organized events where up to 1,300 people participated and benefited from the best speakers and reciters. People from all over the UK and Europe attended these spiritually motivated events. We were also blessed with the attendance of representatives from Holy Shrine of Imam Hussain. Since we aim to spread the message of Imam Hussain, we aim for the best, and everything we've done so far is second to none. Our merchandise designs are being copied across the world, from India to America, and from the Middle East to Australia. Since the message belongs to Imam Hussain, we do not claim copyrights on any of our products. 10 years on, but this is not it. The story of excellence continues in the name of Immortal Hussain, with the help of the best volunteers.
It's okay. Oh, it's too tall for me, this actually. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. That was not loud enough. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Alaikum salam. Nice to meet you guys. Anyways, as you saw the video behind me there, my name is Ali, and I'm one of the committee members of the 10th day. Just a quick, brief explanation on who we are and what we do. We're basically an organization that is raising the name of Imam Hussain alayhi salam to non-Muslims. Yeah. And if you are interested in supporting us or any questions you would like to have, you can find us at the back of the hall. If you look behind you, all of you, right there. Yeah, that's the one. So right, if you come there, you'll find us there. If you want to donate, volunteer, or anything at all, you'll find us down there. And beside that, please follow our Instagram page. It's at the 10th Day Media. And that's all for me today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Ali. Now, without further ado, today we are honored to be hosting a special guest with us who has traveled all the way from London. Inshallah, he is here to enlighten us on both Imam Hassan Askari and Sayeda Zeynab, salamullah alayh. And so, without further ado, I'd like to welcome our respected guest, dear Sayyid Abbas to the stage. To have his little speech. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Wallah, I'm good. Thank you. I'll just hold it. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا مولانا حبيب إله العالمين أبو القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على وعلى آل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين ولعنة الله على القوم الظالمين من الآن إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله to everyone. السلام عليكم. I should apologize for being late, which is the elephant in the room. I'm sorry. I'll blame my driver, but I will not identify who he is in this room. There was a crash on the M1, and then another one after that, just to make sure we were double late. And then the battery malfunctioned on the way as well, just to really, substantiate our delay. And then I called one of the brothers here to show that I'm late, and he said, well, video call me and show me what it looks like. I won't say his name because then he started laughing when he saw the extent of our delay. But alhamdulillah, Allah plans and we're here. So I'd like to thank you for your patience. I hope the food was nice and the cake is nicer, inshallah. And may I borrow your ears just for some brief time for a few discussions, and then I guess we'll be on our way, inshallah. If you are with me for the time we have, Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And also a special thank you to all of the organizers who came together for today's event. It is quite incredible. I have done a lot of ABSoc events where we're sitting. I was saying to the brother, it's a small room somewhere, in the university where they happen to have room, and it's a tiny room. We're sitting together, discussion, dua kumail, and this is an amazing and quite beautiful event. So may Allah bless all the organizers. It's not easy, and so may Allah accept all of your efforts. Okay. My topic today, which I was thinking about, what I wanted to address for today's discussion, is about this idea of self-value and self-love. Often we forget and neglect ourselves in our love and care for other people. And what tends to happen is, if we don't prioritize ourselves or our own well-being or our nature, you find you live a life of suffering and hardship. And often the cause of it is, I didn't value myself and give honor and respect to myself in order to alleviate myself from these issues. I'll give you a few examples on this. The religion of Islam, which is the unifying factor for today's event, is a source of honor for us and pride for us and dignity for us, that we are known by this religion of Islam. If someone looks at you and thinks of this religion, what a great honor it is to be associated to the deen of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, to the deen of the Qur'an, the deen of all of this ruhani, ma'anawiyya, that I'm linked to this religion. It's a truly honorable thing. But what tends to happen is, sometimes we are not proud of our religion. We are not proud to stand or be identified by our faith. There's something about religion which is parochial or old or ancient or just backwards or worthy of discrimination. I don't feel proud of this religion. I'd rather being identified by something else, but not by the fact that I am a Muslim or I'm a Shi'i or I'm a lover of Ahlul Bayt. That shouldn't be the first thing someone thinks of me. I don't like how it feels. Why? Okay, let's look at it a little deeper. We have a narration from our Holy Prophet where he says, or it's attributed that he says, if somebody regarded themselves as honorable, they would see sins as too low for them to commit. If they saw themselves as having genuine sharafat, like genuine honor in themselves, if they saw that, if they looked in the mirror, now this is my adding, if they looked in the mirror and they genuinely valued the person they see in that reflection, they would see sins as too low for them to engage in. The word dunya comes from daniya. Daniya means low. They would see themselves as much greater than these actions. So now, the one listening is thinking, not only I've not valued my religion, but I've not valued myself that much. Like, I've not respected myself. I've not given myself regard that
Okay. What we need then is to respect ourselves and to have confidence in our tradition and where we are from. Take these ideas and put them in your minds. I'll add another idea to this. In Islam, we are told repeatedly to stand up for the oppressed. Those who are either madloom or mustadaf or miskeen, or those who are min fuqara or in Qur'an min al-sabil, these people, stand for them. It's an injunction on you. Stand for the oppressed. And you, all of you, are those who have been raised by mothers and fathers who love Abu Abdullah Hussain alayhi salam. We have no option except to stand for the oppressed. The milk we have been fed as a child was fed to us so that we stand with the honor of a Hussaini. The arms which lifted you as a child were the same arms which lifted the alam in the majlis of Hussain alayhi salam. So I don't have an option when it comes to Hussain alayhi salam and the oppressed. I have to stand for them. But look at this issue again. If I don't value myself to a sufficient degree, I won't be making those stances and those stands for the oppressed. I just won't. It won't be my priority. It's not my interest. I don't need it in my life. I have other things to deal with. So the real problem we're facing, which I want to discuss with you, is why didn't I value myself as sufficiently great and honorable to not fall into those sins which I did, to not make those wrong decisions that I did? And when the time came to stand for haqq, well, why didn't I? What was more important than standing for haqq to me now? To unpack this idea, we have, of course, two great examples who show what it's like to stand for haqq, even if all the people are against you. You don't let go of the truth and how to stand for the truth. And one is Sayeda Zeynab alayha, and the other is Imam Hassan Askari alayhi salam. Read the salawat. It doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter what people say about my religion. It doesn't matter what all of the momentum of the consensus is. I stand where they stood. I'm loyal to what they said. If they walk, I walk. And if they stop, I stop. When they speak, I listen. When they're silent, I don't interrupt them. This kind of loyalty only comes from someone who respects themselves, awalan, and then they respect others. Okay. I want to explain for you why we lost this feeling of strength and honor and karam and true regard for myself. Like, when did I stop respecting myself? That I stopped having these role models actively in my life. And to answer this question of when did I stop respecting myself, to go to Ahlul Bayt, I want to go to the era of colonialism. Now, colonialism, as all of you know, and it's weird, like, I didn't want to go too deep today, but I guess we'll start deep and we'll come back towards the shallows. We went through a very difficult era as a community, right? Where our religion was told to us from people in their language, in other countries occupying our lands. And when the time came for us to speak about our deen, we lost the conceptual language to even speak about ourselves. We lost ourselves, in fact. Frantz Fanon, a very important anti-colonial thinker many of you may have heard of, who has many books, Black Skins, White Masks, The Wretched of the Earth. He has a theory where he says, why did slavery exist for so long? Like, why was there slavery for such a long period of time? Why wasn't it just eradicated there and then? He says slavery existed for two reasons. One, the one who was the slave owner believed themselves to be an owner of slaves. And the one who was enslaved believed themselves to be worthy of being enslaved. Like, they accepted their roles. I own slaves, I am a slave. But the moment it became a fact was when the slave called the other person by the word slave. So then not only they believed it, they internalized the belief of their slavery, and by calling just one other person a slave, they replicated the same view. So now slavery isn't just some idea, it's how I view myself, how I identify you, and how I allow you to identify myself. So the issue goes further now. I have internalized what's been told about me. I've believed it. All those things people say to you, those judgments they judge you by, those expectations people give to you, at some point, I believed them. I thought they were true. I genuinely accepted someone else's judgment about me. And I valued myself based on their idea of me. They were projecting some insecurity that they have. And because they said it enough to me, and the voice was convincing and loud enough, I believed it. And I looked in the mirror, and the person I saw in that mirror,
I gave that person a name and a label, and it was the same label the others gave to me. And I believed every single judgment that was given towards me. So Fanon says this happened to slaves. Malcolm X says the same thing. Malcolm X says that when they say you are the slave who works in the field and the slave who works in the house, the moment you believe this, you have become enslaved by them. You did it to yourself by your acceptance of their label. You did it. And this goes back to an idea in philosophy from Hegel, who believed that there's no such thing as actual social relations. It's just what people believe. If you believe you are honorable, you are honorable. If you believe you are a slave, you accept this view. If you believe you are a good mother or a father, you'll follow the rights of motherhood and fatherhood. Hegel believed it's all about belief. And many thinkers later went to Hegel for their views. Shi'i went to him, feminists went to him, Marxists went to him, others went to him to show that how do we break free of our chains by no longer believing what people tell us about ourselves. So here's the general consensus. I lost a sense of my value because people around me tried taking it away from me. They told me to aspire to something little and I believed them. I genuinely believed them. And I viewed myself in the same way. And here's when it got worse. Whatever words they used about me, I started using those same words to describe others. And I replicated the same thing. For example, a person who is grown up by parents who put on them expectations which are not fair on them, or by judgments on them. When that person becomes a parent, when they say the same thing now to their child, they're continuing the same thing. So they've truly believed of their own inferiority because they've taught their children that they themselves are inferior. This cycle keeps going. The way to break the cycle is to no longer look for your value from others. You look for your value from Allah Azza wa Jal. That's how you break the cycle. The one who chooses who I am and my potential and what I can be and what I can achieve is not that person or that person. Only God determines my value, and God has given you unlimited potential. Now when I have my worldview like this, I'm no longer limited by the language of others. Now I view myself as honorable, as having a tradition I should be proud of. Allah is the one who is haqq. He is the truth. And Allah decides all of the huquq of everything which exists. As Imam Sajjad says, your hands have their own rights, your eyes have their own rights, your body has its own rights. God chooses those rights. Now when I have this Allah-centric worldview, now I'm not allowing anyone's words to affect my sense of myself. That's off limits. Only God determines this part. Nothing else is actually real. Like only Allah truly exists. The true meaning of La ilaha illallah is not there's no God but Allah or no deity but Allah. Allama Tabatabai says the true meaning of La ilaha illallah is there's no deity which actually exists except Allah who does exist. None of those other things are real. That idol Quraysh worship wasn't actually real. That version of God that ISIS had wasn't the true God. This limited view that I had of God wasn't actually Him. None of the things are real. Only Allah is haqq. Everything else is some mental conception of Him. It was not true in the first place. I don't know why I believe those things. God was not cruel. God was not a punisher for people who want to turn back towards Him. God does not restrict His mercy. God does not look down upon you. God does not hate you. The Qur'an mentioned in Surah Duha, God does not abandon you. He's not like this. These were all things people told me about Allah. And at some point I believed them. Like I accepted God was like, I stopped praying, I stopped fasting, I stopped having love in my God because I didn't think God could love me. But that's true. Allah who actually exists was never like that. He was completely, because He was real, He was haqq, He was existing. This Allama's worldview means that I can honor myself, I can have respect and love for myself, I can look in the mirror and say Alhamdulillah without looking and feeling bad about who people think I am. I've done one sin that the people keep judging me for. Allah sees the whole picture. I've done one good deed others praise me about. Allah sees my sins too. The one judging me now is someone who sees all of me, not just one portion of me, and wants to judge me by it. Keep that idea in your mind. Earlier I mentioned as well, before, that we as Muslims must stand for the truth and for haqq. I mentioned this. We have no option. If there's dhulm in front of us, we have to answer that dhulm. We can't remain silent. the blood of Hussain alayhi salam is too weighty for us to remain silent when there's a dhulm in front of us. I don't get to sit this one out. I don't get to explain away my responsibility. I have to take a stand. I have to. This is the injunction from Ahlul Bayt. Sometimes people will judge us and talk to us and give us a view of what we should do, whereas no one is telling us what Ahlul Bayt did. Standing for haqq means I follow Ahlul Bayt. I don't follow what people think I should be doing. They have their own stance. They have their own version of what it means to be a resistance today. They have their own view. I don't go to them for validation. I go to Ahlul Bayt for validation. 2 examples of what this looks like is our 11th Imam and Sayeda Zeynab sallallahu alayhi. Read Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So the point I want to make while you enjoy your cake, that actually rhymed, mashallah, is this one point. I should look at these people for how to take an honorable stand. Because in both these individuals, like everyone wanted one thing from them and they did the complete opposite. And today, right now, people have these expectations of me that I should be acting in a certain way and doing a certain thing. And sometimes it's hard to go against the majority. It's not easy to go against them. But if you're with haqq and with truth, you feel stronger. Look at Imam Askari alayhi salam. Of all our imams, of all of them, our 11th Imam says, none of the imams have had their authority questioned as much as I have. No imam has been doubted for being an imam like I've been doubted. Our 11th, people don't know this. People question the way he walked. An imam shouldn't walk like this. Look at the books. People questioned how he spoke. Your father didn't talk this, why are you speaking like this? People questioned how he would sign off his letters. Why is your signature like this? At the funeral of his father, Imam Hadi alayhi salam, our 11th Imam lifts his collar above him. People says, why are you lifting? We've never seen Imam before you. Lift their collar like this. When they ask him for an issue of Sharia, they say, why are you answering like this? Your father didn't answer like this. He says, no one's been questioned like I've been questioned. No one's been doubted like I have been doubted. Hatta sometimes people questioned his chastity as well. Of all the Imam, no one went through this. The people had these expectations of him, and our Imam did not succumb to any of those expectations. For example, during the life of our 11th Imam, there were the debates happening of why haven't you gone on an uprising yet? Why not? Imam Hassan alayhi salam had an uprising at Ashura. Why don't you? In fact, all our Imams faced this question after Abu Abdullah. And that's why we have so many sects, the Zaydi, the Ismaili, the Kaysaniya, all of them split because the Imam at that time simply would not go on an uprising for his own reasons. Same thing, 11th Imam, why don't you go on an uprising? Why? Imam would answer, it's in the wisdom of God not to. They wouldn't accept it. They wanted him to take a very specific stance in politics. Go for government now. And our Imam says the time is not right for this movement now. It's not right. He adopted the Hassani approach. They wanted the Hussaini. Today, right now, there are people, if you don't copy their political slogans, they think you're not following the Imam. If you don't take the political stance they take, you're not following the Imam. If you don't have the same worldview as them of how the Imam should be, you're not following the Imam. Where did this come from? Our 11th Imam, people came to him and says, we think you should do X, Y, and Z. He says, I'm the Imam. I'll tell you what to do. I'll give you the judgment. I'll give it to you. People today, you'll find this. They have an opinion, a political opinion. And it comes from wherever it comes from. And then only take the riwayat from the Imams which fit this world's view. Like only them. And if you say, hang on a second, the Imam says this as well, they'll be like, yeah, but that's not authentic, that alim is astray, that book's not real, I don't follow it. We only follow this one path. And if you're not near truth. Whereas we say, we don't look for the truth and go to the Imam. We say, al-haq ma Ali wa Ali ma al-haq. The truth is with Ali. And Ali is with the truth. I don't go to the Imam and say, this is what I think you should do. I say, yeah, Imam, what do you think I should do? The truth itself knows it's true by its relation to Ali bin Abi Talib alayhi salam. The truth knows it's true because it follows Ali. And Ali in turn tells us this is the truth. This worldview of Ali ma'al haq wal haq ma'ali means I don't get to tell my Imam do this. I follow my Imam on what I should be doing. This level of loyalty was not found in the life of our 11th Imam. In fact, people would say to him, if you don't uprise now, we'll follow your brother Ja'far al-Kadhab, we call him. We'll follow him instead. And many did. They split off and they followed his brother because he fit their worldview. Okay. At the time of the 11th Imam, there were many extreme views competing with each other. For example, you had the Ghulat and you had those who did Taqsir. Ghulat are those who exaggerated the role of the Imam alayhi salam. This, the Imam alayhi salam can receive wahi now. The Imam is like the God on this earth. The Imam is like Allah on this earth. They took Walayat Takwini, pumped it with steroids and says, this is the Imam right now. On the other hand, you have those who were completely did taqsir, who were known then as being muqassir, which we hear nowadays as well. They believe the Imam alayhi salam has no ilmul ghaib, has no knowledge of the unseen. The Imam cannot interpret the faith. The Imam does not have infallibility. Maybe you've heard these things today as well. Both groups wanted the Imam to follow them today. And the Imam answered them with one phrase, which we should answer all those who do the same thing that he said to them. The Imam is lower than what the extremists say and higher than what the deniers say. That's the Imam. He's not God and he's not like us. He's everything in between. This worldview. Okay. Today, people say if I don't follow and copy the way they do dhikr of the Imam, I don't follow the Imam. And if I don't have the same methodology as them, well, I'm extreme and traditional and they are rational. None of these views are true. All that's true is you follow the Imam alayhi salam. That's what the truth is. Okay. Our 11th Imam. People wanted to pull him towards one extreme, he resisted. Others wanted to paint him as some revolutionary figure when that wasn't his plan, he resisted. He showed us, if all the people pull you towards one error, you stand firm on your principles, even if the whole world denies you. Allah recognizes your haqq and your truth. You get your value from God, not from people. I see the same thing in Sayeda Zeynab sallallahu alayhi wa Muhammad. I see the same thing in her. After Ashura, after Karbala, after the most traumatic era of Imamat, there are so many reactions she could have taken from this moment. She chooses of them strength, honor, dignity, non-defiance, revolution, izzah. She chooses this when she could have not. If you're in that situation and you're in suffering, people often expect from you reactions which Sayeda Zeynab did not choose. For example, when you're going through hardship, when life is genuinely difficult, people expect you to give up. They want you to be defeatist, like give up. At some point on this journey, turn back, don't go to Leicester, go back home, and you're not going to make it. At some point that exam is too hard, Ya Allah, give up, look for a guy to cheat from, it's done. At some point, this narrow path you want, which your parents aren't accepting, give up, it's not going to happen. People say this all the time. For us, we should have an internal strength, a steel, an iron, though no matter what changes, I remain. No matter what challenge I go through, I stay. When Imam Ali would motivate his soldiers, he'd say to them, when the enemy come, you stay, and you keep your feet firm like mountains. Seasons will change, but you keep proceeding towards your enemy. Habib would say, we are the spears in the hands of Hussain. When he swings, we attack. Nothing can move us from the target of our enemy. That's izzah. And I crumble when my challenges get too much for me. When Sayeda Zeynab faces the most difficult part of all of Imamat, she saves the life of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam on multiple occasions. Imamat has never been at risk as it has at this one moment. From Adam until the Dhuhr and after the Dhuhr, Imamat as an institution from Inni Ja'alun fil Ardi Khalifa, as an institution, has never faced as difficult and critical era as right after Ashura. And Sayeda Zeynab, time and time again, stands for truth. So much so in ABSoc Aqaid, we have a principle in Aqaid that what do you do when your Imam and the Imam alayhi salam is too weak to do his responsibility. What's the role of a ghair Imam in that role? The only reason we have this discussion is because Sayeda Zeynab stood after Ashura. A whole book in Aqaid because of Zaynab. When the La'in goes into the tent on the night of Ashura to try and kill the Imam of the time, she puts her body in between the sword and the Imam alayhi salam and says, if you want to kill him, you have to kill me first. When they're coming towards the Imam alayhi salam on camels, she, in one riwayat, pushes herself from her camel onto the ground so that they don't proceed and attack Imam Sajjad alayhi salam. When Yazid says, which of you is Ali bin Hussain, Zaynab stands and says, you'll address me before you address the Imam. On multiple occasions, she stood when there was no one else to stand for Imamat. In fact, if you think about it logically, Imamat is the concept of God. Imamat is Allah's creation, Allah's nidam, not a man-made nidam. From Adam till our 12th Imam, Allah Azza wa Jal, when this whole system was under threat, the one He chooses of all of creation to save the system of Imamat is Aqilatu Zaynab al-Kubra. Of everyone, she's the one who is the weapon in the hand of God to save Imamat. There are no Aimma, no 14 Ma'sumin, no Dhuhur of the Imam, unless Imam Sajjad lives. And the one who keeps him alive is Zaynab. So one reaction suffering is, you know what, life is hard, I'm going to give up. Not Zaynab, she does not give up, not for a second. In none of the books of the Maqatil does she give up for even a moment. There is strength and steel in Zaynab. Her honor comes from God, not from what people think of her. Another example, when we're going through hardship and difficulty, one reaction is to remain quiet. Quietism, like give up, close your mouth. The one speaking is more powerful, more brave, has more followers, and people respect them. Zaynab stands in not only the court of Ibn Ziyad, but and the court of Yazid, face to face with the tyrant, and speaks the truth. What, and I can't send out a tweet and say that Zaynab stands against the enemies? I can't wake up in the morning and go to a protest and she looks at Yazid and says, you are a fasiq? Like, I can't correct someone in front of me when they're speaking wrong because it's too awkward for me. And Zaynab goes from Karbala to Kufa, Kufa to Sham, Sham back to Karbala, Karbala to Medina, and does not give up once. And I keep giving up at every moment. Hayhat min nadhillah. So the strength of Zaynab is seen even then as well. Okay, one reaction we have when life is hard and suffering is, alongside all of those things of giving up and remaining quiet, is just to run away. It's escapism. Literally leave your issues and run away. Don't deal with it. Procrastinate. I'm just not dealing with it. Sayeda Zeynab not only embraces her difficulty, she becomes a sign as Ummul Masaib. She doesn't run away. She doesn't hide away her suffering. She doesn't ignore it. She becomes the sign of the one who does musibah for Abu Abdullah alayhi salam. Every majlis you've attended is sadaqah of Zaynab alayhi salam. Every single one. It's because of her. Ummul Masaib, one of my teachers in the Hawza says, Zaynab is not just Ummul Masaib, she's Ummul Azadar. She's the mother of every azadar. You know that child you see, that you tie that green band on him and teach him Hussain, Hussain? Zaynab is the mother to that child. You know that volunteer outside the center who's giving out chai, giving out tea? They are directly in khidmat of Zaynab. You know that young person who's reading for the first time and they're nervous, they don't know how they're going to recite, you know their heart's beating quite fast? The hand which calms their chest is the hand of Zaynab. You know when you're late to the majlis but you're rushing to at least be there for the matam, that rushing is done for the sake of Zaynab. And you know when the non-Muslim says, who is this Hussain you are staying up at late nights to go to his majlis? When you speak and says, Hussain is my inspiration, it's Zaynab who gives you that voice. So Sayeda Zeynab Salamullah alayha, Aqidatu Zaynab, is a sign of strength. It's so easy for us to overlook and not see the hope in this world. But for her, when she's asked, what do you see? She says, Ma ra'ayta illa jamila. I see nothing but beauty. There is nothing to her except beauty. Ashura is beauty for her. Karbala is beauty. The bodies which have been lying there, because they were killed for haqq, there is beauty in those bodies. Every single one. The tears that don't stop flowing in Ashura are not sadness for us alone. They are hope and they are beauty. It would be easy for her to say it was hard and beautiful. Ma ra'ayta. I don't see anything except beauty. There's no compromising on the beauty of my Imam of my time, alayhi salam. I love him. I love every aspect of him. There's not one segment of my Imam which I'll put aside and look at the rest. I have complete loyalty towards him. Ma ra'ayta illa jamila. So I might think that when I'm facing difficulties and hardship, what's expected of me is give up, don't speak, be quiet, focus on the negativity. Not for the lover of Zaynab, for the love of Sayeda Zeynab. When life is hard, I speak, I stand, I go to the battlefield, and I look for the beauty even in every suffering, because that beauty is one of the segments of the beauty of God. Inna Allah ta'ala jamilun yuhibbul jamal. Allah is beauty, and He's from beauty. I need that worldview. And to end and conclude, I'm not going to get that if I keep believing what people say about me. Like, I'm not going to taste any of these things, not a single portion, if I keep internalizing the negativity of others. They bring me down and I believe what they said. They think it's okay for me to only reach a certain level, and I believe them. They have a materialist worldview, and for some reason I accepted them. Why? I was made for much more than this limited worldview. I was made for liqa Allah, meeting with God. When did I give up on this plan to reach Allah Azza wa Jal? When? Sayeda Zeynab and our 11th Imam remind us, no matter what the people say, no matter where they take you, no matter what they expect from you, you get your rights from God. I'll end on these lines attributed to our Sayyid Amir alayhi salam, attributed towards him. All of you know these things because you've seen it around you. And you know it. Your sickness is from you, but you don't see it. And the remedy is within you, but you didn't perceive it. You think you are small. You see yourself as some small entity. Yet within you is the entire universe. You are that book, that manifest book, from which the alphabet makes that which was hidden become known. So why do you look elsewhere and seek something outside of you? It was all within you in the first place, if only you reflect. Inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Sayyid, for that beautiful lecture. It was a very pertinent topic, and inshallah, we can obviously take something away from tonight's talk. Closing, I hope you guys enjoyed today's event. Brother Ali is just telling me that everyone, you have to go to the back of the hall for some reason, I don't know why. So just go to Brother Ali after we say our regards. Thank you all for attending. It's been an honor to host you. We'd love some feedback. It's the first time we've done an event, like this. So any feedback would be really much appreciated, and any help to Claire would also be very much appreciated. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
غرد يا طير بهالخبر خل تسمعي البريد أهل الأرض وأهل السماء مدعوة هالمسيد العقد القران اللي جمع أشرف بشر سوية زوج رسول الله علي للطاهرة الزكية رفعوا الهلاهل يا أهل السماء أعظم عريسة علي وفاطمة يلا يلا يا أهل السماء أعظم عريسين علي وفاطمة يا سامع الصوت صل على النبي صل عليه تزويد فاطمة علي يا الله وصيورة للتلاوة عنده وبقول أعوذ وحصنه عن الذي حسده هنيا إلى ربك كرمه ورافع مقامه عنده خلاه بعل الفاطمة وطول العمر تسنده يا حيدر اليوم ربك فضله أهدالك الخير من عرشه إلك يا الله ويا الله ربك فضله أهدالك الخير من عرشه إلك يا سامع الصوت صل على النبي هالليلة تزويد فاطم من علي يا الله ويا الله صلوا على النبي هالليلة تزويد فاطم من علي يا حور زفوا بفرح هالليلة أبيك وطشوا من الجنة وري خلي تبارك بيك هاي الجليلة الطاهرة ما حد قدر يذنيك لا زيد لا عمرو فقط حيدر يلوق عليها ربك يا زهرة من عرشه قمر يصبح عليك علي.
Just a quick announcement, please do help yourself to all the snacks and food you see. There is plenty to take home. There is some food as well outside that we've packed in containers. Please help yourself, and thank you very much for coming as well. Salawatu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
حيدر علي وي فاطمة فرش البساط الأحمر يمشون ونشوف النبي وياهم دليل استبشر يعلم بعد مد الفرح